Let's do it. We're here.
What?
Thank you for watching us yet again. We are the guys from the Did You See That Shit Mixed Martial Arts podcast.
The fastest growing podcast out there. You
One
better
of
hop
them.
on the hype train.
One of them.
Stop being so humble.
Yeah. Well, you might notice some new gear, guys. I don't know if you could really see it, but we do have the Rode Procasters with the shock mounts and the PSA 1 arms now. So
He is
we're even more
so
legit.
happy. We are too legit to quit, man. All right, guys. Now, you know why you're here, because we are doing this awesome Not So March Madness bracket.
It is April 2nd, but it's all good. I hope you guys had a fantastic Easter.
Exactly.
It's a weird fucking holiday.
It really is.
What is it anyway? Did Jesus rise from the great, like zombie Jesus? I don't know.
I'm more confused about eggs and bunnies.
Yeah, where did that come from? There's some history behind that. I'm sure Joe Rogan knows it. He knows.
Definitely someone smoked weed for this.
Yeah, definitely I did.
You know who else smoked weed?
Who?
The first person in this bracket. Nick Diaz versus Matt Hughes.
One of those guys did. Yes, we're doing not week 3, but the third bracket. We're a little behind, but we're going to hammer out bracket 3 today, bracket 4 tomorrow, and then we'll get into the second round here. We're going to knock this out in the first week of April here, right?
Oh, yeah. You know what, guys? We're not going to let this sit.
Congrats to Loyola, too. They got booted from the Final Four, but they fucking made a run, dude.
Yo, that franchise school did it.
They did it.
I call them a franchise school because there's like 19 Loyolas.
Yeah, there is. There really is. So let's go, man. Nick Diaz, Matt Hughes.
Oh, gosh. This is, I'm a fan of Nick. Oh, man.
Who isn't? Come on.
I'm going to say a prime.
It's prime Nick versus prime Matt.
This is hard. This is so hard. This is
hard.
This is a hard one because
you know how I like to do it. I like to play it out.
So I'm gonna play it out, and we did the open basketball court because they're in the same weight classes too. So this is one of the very rare ones where we have the same weight class, and Nick Diaz has a really great boxing style, amazing cardio. He's just going to take you for a ride.
Right.
Matt Hughes is just a power.
Country boy, farm boy.
Just going to pick you, slam you. And for some reason, amazing on the ground.
Great jiu-jitsu.
Great jiu-jitsu.
I think he was the first guy that took that elite level wrestling and blended that effortlessly with jiu-jitsu.
I think too, man. I knew him more for arm bars and, you know,
like
submitting.
The armbar he caught, the far side armbar he caught on GSP.
Yeah. So
amazing.
Like,
high level shit.
I knew him more for jiu-jitsu than I ever knew him for wrestling. But I'm going to have to say, in a prime Nick Diaz, I'm going to say prime Nick Diaz was Strikeforce Nick Diaz versus Paul Daly.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. I would say a prime Nick.
Or the Carlos Condit fight because he got robbed in that fight. I believe
he did.
Beat Carlos.
I'd say if in that era, I'd say Nick Diaz. And the only reason why I think he's not going to get overwhelmed on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I just think he's going to outpace Matt Hughes. And Matt Hughes is a cardio machine himself, but I just don't think he would be able to stand up with Nick. And I don't think he'd be able to really do enough damage on the ground to end the fight there. And I think Nick Diaz would win just by, either submitting him or really just outclassing him on the feet.
What I think would happen is, obviously, the fight would start standing, right?
Yeah.
I think Nick probably in his prime has better boxing than Matt. I don't think that's really going to be a point of contention between the two of us, right? I think Matt would take this fight to the ground. And I should preface, I'm a huge Diaz fan. I have 3 Diaz shirts. Listen, when it comes to Diaz fans, you can't find a guy that's much more a fan, especially being a journalist, so I have to be impartial, but I'm still a fan of those guys, right? But this is the way I think it would go. I think Matt would get probably beat up a little bit on the feet.
Yeah.
I think Matt would take it down pretty easy. And yes, Diaz has a great ground game. I think his brother has a better guard.
Oh, yeah. I think his brother's guard's way better.
I think Matt would beat the fuck out of him on top. I think
really?
Matt's ground and pound is legendary, and his jiu-jitsu is top-notch. And even though Nick's is, I still think Matt... Listen, maybe he couldn't do enough to finish the fight on the ground, but if you can't ever get back to your feet, you're not going to win the fight. He's not going to submit. He's not going to submit Matt Hughes.
Well, I've seen Matt Hughes get submitted by BJ Penn. And obviously, I'm not going to compare their jiu-jitsu, but Nick Diaz...
Not prime.
Nick Diaz...
That's not prime Matt either, though. So you have to... A prime Matt Hughes not get submitted by anybody.
You don't consider that prime Matt Hughes?
No, against BJ Penn.
The first time?
No, he got submitted. Prime Matt Hughes ain't going to lose. Like, that's the way I see it. To me, prime Matt Hughes is when he submitted George. Like, he was quick, he was strong, he was athletic.
But that also wasn't Prime George, because when he faced Prime George,
we're not talking about that. We're talking about Prime Matt right now.
Yeah, so
versus Prime Nick. And listen, I'm a huge Diaz fan. I just think Matt Hughes.
I do want to lean towards. I want to lean towards Matt Hughes because I feel like his prime, he was just the most dominating man in the world. But the reason,
top 3 champion of all time.
Biggest reason
I really think he's a top 3 champion of all time. I really think so. If you look at what that man, what he is underrated as a UFC. And this might sound terrible, but please hear me out. You know, he just had that recent tragic accident. Thank God he survived.
Oh God! By the way, man,
and he's doing a lot better. Walking. You know, he's walking and he's doing so much better, and he's on the road to a full recovery by all signs. But if he would have passed away, if he would not have been able to make it through that, God forbid, his stock, we would have seen it like so many other greats that pass away. We would have seen this level of respect from Matt that we hadn't seen so far. Yeah. And that is only because people tend to respect people after they're gone. And I think this is going to be the case with Matt. He's really special. Matt was, go back and watch the guy's fights, man. Yeah. He's really special.
You know what?
And I'm a huge Diaz guy.
Here's why I'm going to say.
I almost wore an Diaz shirt
Here's why I'm going to say Matt. Why I'm going to lean towards Matt in this fight and why this is so difficult for me. I feel that Nick Diaz has more tools. I feel like he's a better overall fighter, but I feel Matt is so dominant in one aspect, and
he could really keep him there and beat him up.
And Nick has never really shown an ability to really submit guys off his back in a long time.
If it was his brother, I'd give him more of a chance at maybe catching something, maybe.
I feel like if Nick Diaz would have had a better outing versus GSP the first time, then I would have probably given him more of an edge. But since he's had such a poor...
Nick would rather get back to his feet and beat you up on the feet again.
Yeah.
That's Nick.
Because he hasn't done anything since, since really the Go-Go Plata.
Oh, my God.
Years ago.
I think that might... Was that the only Go-Go Plata ever caught in combat sports?
Ever. And it was in Pride against a Japanese jiu-jitsu guy. Just
amazing.
That was pretty... Who was that against?
I forget.
You know what? I'm going to go Matt Hughes on that.
So how about the guy we were just talking about a little bit, BJ Penn versus Chuck Liddell, both in their prime. This is interesting.
So here's how it plays. Chuck Liddell, and for context, if anybody doesn't remember these guys in their prime...
If you don't, well, how do you not?
Exactly. Chuck Liddell was the scariest knockout artist of all time. And his wrestling in defense, being able to stuff takedowns, being able to not be taken down.
Just to add to that, see, Chuck was the first guy that was Chuck's a very good wrestler. People don't realize.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck is a phenomenal wrestler. However, like you said, he used his wrestling in reverse. He used his wrestling to stay on the feet because he was so deadly. And contrary to popular belief, Chuck was not an aggressive striker.
No, he was a
counter striker.
Where BJ Penn was very aggressive in his boxing. BJ Penn.
But he was BJ had at the time, some of the best boxing.
Oh,
and that was because of the guy we got the chance to speak to, Jason Perillo.
Go check out that episode. Episode 16?
No, I don't think so. Maybe 16, maybe 15. I forget. We do so much.
We also have the interview up on didyousee-that-shit.com. Yeah. So if you want to check that out.
And the YouTube channel.
Yep, and the YouTube channel, Missing Time Productions. Hit like and subscribe. But no, if I'm taking Prime BJ, which is the stretch, I would say when he's fucking Kenny Florian up.
When he's running the title defense.
Yes.
Diego Sanchez, title defense was in there.
Because BJ Penn was so game and his jiu-jitsu was so great and his boxing was so crisp.
Let me stop you because I think you're going to make a mistake.
I'm going to go with Chuck.
Oh, you're going to go Chuck.
Reason why is all those factors play something, but because Chuck is such a great counter striker and because his wrestling is so great on the defensive end, I don't see BJ Penn being able to use any of his weapons against him. I think it would be a great fight.
So you're going Chuck.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chuck. I think it would be a great fight because BJ Penn is game.
I need to preface again because huge BJ Penn fan. I have one of his books. He's actually the only pop figure in mixed martial arts guys I actually have.
We'll put that up next time.
But yeah, man, Chuck Liddell. How is BJ going to win this fight? Well, he's surely not going to knock Chuck out, right?
Oh, he has all the weapons to do it, but I don't think he can implement them.
A prime Chuck Liddell is not going to get knocked out by BJ Penn. I don't see that. So how do you win that if you're BJ? You're going to probably have to submit him, okay? Which means you're going to probably have to get the fight down to the ground.
How?
How are you going to get the fight down to the ground against Chuck? Well, you have to get in range, right? And that puts you into very much danger of Chuck's one-punch KO power in his prime. So yeah, I just can't get around the fact, even though I'm a huge, and I'm a Chuck fan too, but yeah, we'll go Chuck there, dude. It's just got to be. I don't see it any other way. How about Mighty Mouse versus Mirko Crow Cop? Talking about two different ends of the spectrum here, huh?
Holy cow!
So let's just establish what we think Prime Mirko is. Probably in his
Pride.
Yeah, when he's just when him and Fedor were just on top of the world.
Yeah. Oh my God. Versus Prime Mighty Mouse, which is now.
It's somewhere in this stretch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say probably the Ray Borg crazy mousetrap submission.
Oh my God, that was so insane.
That's probably Prime right. Yeah, right now.
I know a guy who does them. Who does that submission?
Really?
His name is Josh. He actually took.
So he saw DJ do it and then do it, or he was doing it before DJ.
No, he saw DJ. He had a very similar type of submission game. He just took.
Just goes to show you, there's so much interesting, cool shit out there that we still have yet to see. And the sport is still so new.
I'll show you later. But the one he does is he loves to do a fake shot, jump to your back, and then does a full like choke out. And it is so slick how he does it. It's a really nice move.
Nice.
I think he took third at the Pan Am grappling no-gi tournament.
Really?
Yeah, he's a legit guy.
Yeah, that's good. So who do you go here, Mighty Mouse or Mirko? This is so.
I can't take size out of this.
Well, I mean, size you can't. Yeah,
you
have
can't.
To. It's a part of it.
I'm gonna have to go Mirko because he's just too big. Mighty Mouse. We've seen Mighty Mouse fuck up everybody from his size.
Yeah.
But then he goes and faces a guy who I think
Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, Dominic Cruz, who I think skill-wise is at his level.
And even though that was, a few years ago still.
Yes, it wasn't prime Mighty Mouse. But I still think because Dominic Cruz was so big.
The size difference is too big.
It was too much, and that's only 135.
I know. Mirko's a monster.
Mirko is
225, 230 in his prime.
And he's like 6'3", Special Forces, doesn't give a fuck if he dies or not.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's gonna left kick him from a mile away, put him in the hospital, right kick him, and he's gonna die. Like,
This is one of those, and we talked about this a few other times in other brackets. One of those cases of just bad seeding for Mighty Mouse, because I think he could have really gave a lot of guys a run, but yeah, the size difference and the skill level I think is just too great for Mirko. So yeah, we'll go Mirko there. How about Sugar Ray Leonard and Stipe Miocic? Interesting because Miocic is a boxer, a very good Golden Glove boxer, and with an excellent wrestling pedigree. Then you have Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the best pure boxers ever.
Sugar Ray.
This fight's going to be basically a standing fight.
And he's significantly smaller, though.
Yes.
That's my only issue with this.
He is.
If Sugar Ray was... I feel Sugar Ray was one of the best pure boxers out there. And if he faces any MMA stand-up person, because of his footwork, I think he could win most of these. But because of the size
difference.
Yeah, because if he gets hit, man, you take one of those to the chin, I don't care who you are, you're not going to be awake.
Plus, something that we have to you have to take into consideration too is what we saw Stipe and Francis. Stipe has the ability to take the fight to the ground rather easily.
D1 wrestler,
and this is a guy in Sugar Ray Leonard who probably doesn't have much takedown defense. So yeah, we'll go Miocic there. That's pretty much a no-brainer. How about Rafael Dos Anjos and Evander Holyfield?
Oh my God, this one is weird.
This is a size difference, but the other way now. Now you have the boxer who's much bigger. So what do you do?
Evander Holyfield, in my opinion,
very underrated, I believe,
was one of the greatest boxers at that era.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will look at Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., but I felt that Evander Holyfield did enough to cement his name and legacy and everything like that.
Yeah, the problem with that is with at the time during Evander Holyfield. See, Evander Holyfield was he wasn't a true heavyweight.
No,
he was a light heavyweight, not even probably
cruiserweight. He was a cruiserweight.
That they inflated to heavyweight because he had the skill set, and the thing that is so miraculous.
Fight for Mike.
He did, and that fight eluded him for a long time, and then finally it happened, and we all saw what happened, but. The thing about Evander that amazed me time and time again is here's a heavyweight that was almost every fight undersized.
Yeah.
But his heart took him through, and his heart and talent and skill, he persevered. And Evander is truly great. Truly a great. And you're going against the guy, though, in Rafael Dos Anjos, who, okay, his stand-up is good, but nowhere near the level of Holyfield.
His wrestling's okay, but I don't think taking down as big of a guy as Evander Holyfield over RDA is a big guy, but not as big as Evander.
Yeah, this is true, but what happens if, let's say, they're squaring off, and obviously RDA is going to be a little bit suspect because of Evander's good striking, right? let's say Evander catches him, and then let's say the fight gets close, like, you know, in grappling range. Let's say RDA manages to just lock up and shuffle and grab his back. Then it's over. It's over. The second he can grab him, the fight would be over. Can he grab him? Can Evander land that one shot to put RDA to sleep? I believe he probably would.
I believe Evander Holyfield would win this.
I do too.
Because I think
I don't know why.
I think he's too big. I think he's too strong. I think he's too fast.
I don't think he's faster than RDA.
No, not faster, but I think he's fast enough with his footwork. He's not fast. He's quick.
I think he's just the right size to beat RDA.
Yeah, he's
weird.
He's perfect. He's not too slow. He's not too
right
fast. I feel that this is a bad matchup for RDA.
Yeah, it really is.
In a lot of ways.
And Evander is one of those guys that
I feel could
fuck,
be,
man, you never know, right?
He could have been an MMA fighter.
And he could run this table, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say Evander wins.
Yeah,
this.
we're gonna go there. How about this one, man? Sakaraba versus Bas Rutten, El Guapo himself.
Bas. I can't. I know a lot of people might not agree with me, but I feel Bas in his prime was one of the very first, besides Frank Shamrock, to really put everything together. His submission game was top notch. His striking was beyond belief. Like his striking, we are seeing now his striking principles being put into place in TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, through Dwayne Bang.
Before Dwayne Bang. Dwayne Bang was never a great fighter. He only had really a great career because of Bas. And he has one of the fastest knockouts
he does.
because of Bas. Bas was, you could take the fight anywhere, and there was a true argument that Bas is and would have been, if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time.
Yes, to me, he is one of my personal favorites of all time. I had a chance to interview him once on one of my old shows. I'm trying to get him on the Did You See That Shit podcast for us. He's been really busy now with the new show, Kevin Can Wait and everything. He's got a spot in there, but we are in contact, and I can't wait to have him back on the show, man, because he's the only
reason I watch Access TV.
Yeah, right. He's one of my personal favorites. He's just so charismatic, and he's just, man, talk about a killer. You know, and he's got stories, and he's just such a warrior. But Sakaraba, man, I mean, the Gracie hunter, the Gracie killer, he's a legend in his own right. This is a man that fought hour-long MMA matches.
Oh, he's a beast.
He is a legend. I mean, he's another guy that was always counted out. And, you know, you look at the guy and you think, this is just like some Japanese business guy. No, he's the baddest motherfucker on that little island.
And I feel that a lot of people discount a lot of these Pride superstars because of how Pride operated back in the day. Sakaraba was a legit fighter. And I've had an argument with a lot of people who say he's not a legit fighter.
No.
You know, he was in Pride. He was fucking up old Gracies. No, he was fucking up everybody. He was a beast. And on the ground, he was second to none. But I do not think he'd be able to get it on the ground against Bas Rutten. And I think Bas Rutten would fuck him up on the feet. Because the one thing about Sakaraba we always saw, and we always saw an issue, was his stand-up.
This is the thing with this one is, and in my head, this is probably the one fight that I spend the longest kind of going back and forth on. We may not spend as the most time debating this one, but this is definitely one that I've put the most thought into. And these two could fight for an hour. Who knows? These two may fight for an hour to get a winner. I ultimately think Bas would find a way to win. Flip a coin. We'll go Bas. How about we got 2 fights left here in bracket 3. Wanderli Silva, Brock Lesnar. Another one where size is very important.
No, it's not in this one.
Really?
You want to know why?
Tell me.
The biggest reason is because we're going with prime Wanderli. And Wanderli's in Pride, where he didn't give a fuck
when he fought me and Rampage through the ropes.
Yeah, he was fucking up. Yeah. Mirko, he wouldn't fight Mirko. He wanted to try to fight Fedor. He didn't give a fuck.
So what's Prime Lesnar?
Prime Lesnar
when he's fighting Mir for the second time.
Yeah,
and
Mir
beating the fucking brains out of him.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Mir for the second time. I'm going to have to say Brock for the one simple fact. His wrestling. And a lot of people are like, he can't take a punch.
He can't.
He did take a pretty big hit from Mark Hunt.
And Lesnar. And Carwin.
And Carwin. So he can take a punch.
He can take some punches.
He just can't take a punch from somebody.
He can't take a kick to the liver from Alistair Overeem.
And he can't take a guy who's a cardio machine in Cain Velasquez.
Well, that's a guy just pounding you.
Yeah, fuck that. But he got punched. And I don't think Wanderli. Yeah, I don't think Prime Wanderli has enough technique.
Yeah.
Or enough patience to pick him apart. The way to beat Brock is you need to beat him with pure skill. Because he doesn't have skill.
I don't think, I just, as much as I would like to go Wanderli here, I just can't seem to go Wanderli.
Yeah, I can't either. I love Wanderli Silva, man. He was awesome.
Yeah.
He had some great wars.
We're going to have to go Lesnar there.
I'm going to go. Now, the last fight. This is actually the one I've had an eternal problem with.
Really?
Up until his knee blew out. Tony Ferguson versus Dominic Cruz. The two people who have no knees.
Yeah. Pretty much, right?
Tony Ferguson versus Dominic Cruz.
And we have to address the elephant in the room. Tony Ferguson, Khabib, Nurmagomedov is off.
Oh, also, whoever you stop to look at, Tony, they're not your friend anymore.
What the fuck?
They're not your friend
Fight's
anymore.
never going to happen.
Never. Now I'm
gonna
sad.
happen.
Well, actually, a fight now is going to happen that I never thought I wanted to see, but now I do.
Yeah.
Max Holloway versus Khabib. I never thought that
You
was...
heard it here first. We both think Max is going to beat Khabib on 6 days' notice and go on to fight McGregor and unify the champ titles finally. So
champ
we'll
versus champ. Going to be the greatest fights of all time.
But Ferguson and Dom Cruz to close out this bracket. What do you got? Who do you got?
Both ridiculously unorthodox.
Yeah, both are.
Both have great ground game.
Yes, both do.
I think Dominic's not as good off his back, but he's great on top.
Nowhere near as good off his back.
No, I feel their stand-up is different, but both...
Different but similar.
Different but similar. Dominic doesn't like to get hit.
I know I wouldn't say that.
Tony is cool with getting hit.
I wouldn't say Dom doesn't like to get hit. I would say Dom is very good at not getting hit.
Correct. I feel because Tony is so great off his back, and if this fight... man, this is hard. I'm going to go with Tony Ferguson.
Really?
Yes, for one reason is the ground. I feel like on the stand-up, Tony, he's not going to get pieced up, but he's not going to really hit him.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's not really going to hit Dominic. Dominic is just too fast. His footwork is too good. And you need another guy who's equally as good is equally as fast as him to really hit him. And we saw that with Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw. I feel like Tony Ferguson's not really going to hit him, but I feel like Tony Ferguson is going to be able to put enough pressure on him to get it to the ground or get in the clinch, and that's where his knees, his elbows, his length is really going to come in handy. Dominic Cruz is one of the best bantamweights of all time in his prime.
Ferguson is a bigger guy, too.
Yeah, and Tony Ferguson is a bigger guy. Dominic Cruz in his prime was a freak, but Dominic Cruz in his prime also just I don't see Dominic Cruz in his prime taking Tony. You know, he never really knocked anybody out. He never really did crazy submissions. He was just a cardio machine with amazing footwork, and he pieced you up. And I do not see him being able to piece up Tony the way he does everybody else.
Yeah, this is a tough one, right?
Yeah, I think Tony could submit him or fuck him up in the clinch.
Yeah, I could see like for some reason I could see like Tony off his back, locking Dom in a triangle choke and just cracking with elbows at the same time.
Why do I see a Gogo Plata or like
We're just talking about a Gogo Plata
or Uma Plata? Like I feel like Tony is gonna be the next dude to actually get one of those.
It might be. He's lanky enough.
He's crazy enough, and freaking he hangs out with Eddie all the time. So Eddie Bravo, by the way, 10th Plan Jiu-Jitsu, shout out.
So we're gonna go Ferguson.
I'm gonna go Ferguson on this.
I think so. I'm gonna too. Yeah.
This bracket, I have to say, has given us a lot of emotional turmoil over the last level brackets.
There's a lot of good fighters in there.
Yeah. The next bracket, though.
Some good ones in the last.
This one is really going to hurt me. Marvin Hagler, Frank Shamrock, Mike Tyson, Damian Maia, Sugar Ray Robinson, Deontay Wilder. By the way, Deontay Wilder is getting investigated by the boxing commission.
That's the dumbest shit.
I know, because he said he wanted a body. Go check.
He said he wanted a body in the ring. He wanted to hit someone. I mean, listen to the context. The man said it.
It's hilarious.
Listen, there's other things they should be focusing on.
Correct.
That's fucking dumb.
We will be talking about it in our next episode of Did You See That Shit podcast. Will be coming out soon. Episode 17.
No, 18.
18.
We just put 17 up.
Man, I am not good at counting. Randy Couture versus Ben Askren. This one is amazing. I can't wait. I've done a lot of research. I am ready for this one. Roy Jones versus Antonio Minotauro Nogueira. This is awesome. Conor McGregor, Lyoto Machida. That's a cool style matchup. Khabib versus Verdum. That one's awesome as well. Fedor versus
Joe Kawasaki.
Yep, and which is your guy. You needed him in here, and I actually believe I do believe he belongs in here.
He's amazing, man. Watch his highlights if you guys don't know.
We are about to have that tomorrow, guys. Be here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, check us out on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Lipson, all your favorite places where you find a podcast. Also, you can go to our website at didyousee.shit.com. And we're always out here. We're doing our thing. And we're going to be doing some great things with this live streaming starting in April. 2018 is our year. We are the fastest growing podcast out there. Yeah. You need to be...
Like and subscribe somewhere over here, guys.
Correct.
I'll put it up.
Yeah,
afterwards.
we'll put it up. Like and subscribe. You definitely want to be a part of this channel. And thank you to our friends at Leaks Pro Audio for giving us these amazing headphones, these cords that we use, and giving me one of the best mics I've ever had for my own personal studio. They give you everything that you need. So thank you, guys.
Till next time, I guess, right?
Yep. Peace.